Om Namo Narayanaya. Welcome back. So I just came from an 8-mile run, 9:30 pace for any fellow runners out there, and I'm cooling down with something to drink before jumping in the shower, and I just thought while I was doing that, we'd make a video and read the next chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we're in chapter 12 right now, out of 33, and just so you know, after we do Canto 3, I'm going to take a break, read some Upanishads, and then delve back into the Srimad Bhagavatam for 3 more chapters, take a break, Upanishads, 3 more chapters, Upanishads, and then we'll finish up the Srimad Bhagavatam. I know the Srimad is really just one book divided over lots of volumes, but I just need a break and I wanted to cover some other territory. So when we're done with this, we'll take a little break, but then we will keep going. We're gonna do the entire thing, but we'll explore the Upanishads next because I know a lot of people are curious about those. So anyways, let's go into chapter 12, Creation of the Kumaras and Others. And we'll see how far we get through this before I run out of breath. Sri Maitreya said, O learned Vidura, so far I have explained to you the glories of the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his feature of Kala. Now you can hear from me about the creation of Brahma, the reservoir of all Vedic knowledge. Brahma first created the nascent engagements like self-deception, the sense of death, anger after frustration, the sense of false ownership, and the illusory bodily conception, or forgetfulness of one's real identity. Seeing such a misleading creation as a sinful task, Brahma did not feel much pleasure in his activity, and therefore he purified himself by meditation on Lord Vishnu. Then he began another term of creation. In the beginning, Brahma created 4 great sages named Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara. All of them were unwilling to adopt materialistic activities because they were highly elevated due to their semens flowing upwards. Brahma spoke to his sons after generating them. My dear sons, he said, now generate progeny. But due to their being attached to Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they aimed at liberation, and therefore they expressed their unwillingness. On the refusal of the sons to obey the order of their father, there was much anger generated in the mind of Brahma, which he tried to control and not express. Although he tried to curb his anger, it came out from between his eyebrows, and a child, mixed blue and red, was immediately generated. After his birth, he began to cry, O Destiny Maker, Teacher of the Universe, kindly designate my name and place. The all-powerful Brahma, who was born from the lotus flower, pacified the boy with gentle words, accepting his request, and said, Do not cry. I shall certainly do as you desire. O chief of the demigods, you shall be called by the name Rudra by all people, because you have so anxiously cried. My dear boy, you have already selected the following places for your residence: the heart, the senses, the air of life, the sky, the air, the fire, the water, the earth, the sun, the moon, and austerity. My dear boy, Rudra, you have 11 other names: Manu, Manu, Maniasa, Mahan, Shiva, Latavaja, Ugarata, Bhava, Kala, Vamadeva, and Dharatvata. Rudra, you also have 11 wives, called the Rudrinis. They are as follows: Di, Driti, Rasala, Uma, Ninyut, Sarpi, Ilya, Ambika, Iravati, Svahadi, and Diksha. My dear boy, you may now accept all the names and places designated for you and your different wives, and since you are now one of the masters of the living entities, you may increase the population on a large scale. The most powerful Rudra, whose bodily color was blue mixed with red, created many offspring exactly resembling him in features, strength, and furious nature. The sons and grandsons generated by Rudra were unlimited in number, and when they assembled together, they attempted to devour the entire universe. When Brahma, the father of the living entity, saw this, he became afraid of the situation. Hey, kitty. My cat's going cannonball. Excuse me. Brahma told Rudra, "O best among the demigods, there is no need for you to generate living entities of this nature. They have begun to devastate everything on all sides with the fiery flames from their eyes, and they have even attacked me. My dear son, you had better situate yourself in penance, which is auspicious for all living entities, and which will bring all benediction upon you. By penance only shall you be able to create the universe as it was before. By penance only can one even approach Lord Vishnu, who is within the heart of every living entity and at the same time beyond the reach of all senses." Sri Maitreya said, "Thus Rudra, having been ordered by Brahma, circumambulated his father, the master of the Vedas. Addressing him with words of assent, he entered the forest to perform austere penances. Brahma, who was empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thought of generating living entities and begot 10 sons for the extension of the generations. Maritki, Atri, Angira, Palatsya, Palaya, Kratu, Brigu, Vasista, Daksha, and the 10th son, Narada, were thus born. Narada was born from the liberation of Brahma, which is the best part of the body. Vasista was born from the breathing, Daksha from the stomach, Brigu from his touch, and Kratu from his hand. Palatsya was generated from the ears, Angira from the mouth, Atri from the eyes, Maritsi from the mind, and Palala from the navel of Brahma. Religion was manifested from the breast of Brahma, wherein is situated the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. And ere religion appeared from his back, where horrible death takes place for the living entity. Lust and desire became manifested from the heart of Brahma, anger from between his eyebrows, greed from between his lips, the power of speaking from his mouth, the ocean from his penis, and the low and abominable activities from his anus, the source of all sins. Sage Kardama, husband of the great Devahuti, was manifested from the shadow of Brahma. Thus all became manifested from either the body or the mind of Brahma. Vidura, we have heard that Brahma had a daughter named Vak, who was born from his body and who attracted his mind towards sex, although she was not sexually inclined towards him. Thus finding their father so deluded in an act of immorality, the sages, headed by Maritsi, all sons of Brahman, spoke as follows with great respect. O father, this performance in which you are endeavoring to complicate yourself was never attempted by any other Brahma, nor by anyone else, nor by you in previous kalpas, nor will anyone dare to attempt it in the future. You are the supreme being in the universe, so how is it that you want to have sex with your daughter and cannot control your desire? Even though you are the most powerful being, this act does not suit you because your character is followed for spiritual improvement by people in general. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto Lord Vishnu, who by his own effulgence, while situated in himself, has manifested this cosmos. May he also protect religion for all goodness. The father of all Prajapatis, Brahma, thus seeing all his Prajapati sons speaking in that way, became very much ashamed, and at once gave up the body he had accepted. Later that body appeared in all directions as a dangerous fog in the darkness. I think I'm actually going to pause there. And I will pick up with verse 34 next time. I think we have just read the admonition against incest. Because if it's not something Lord Brahma is supposed to do, if it's a disgusting act, sleeping with his daughter, who doesn't want him, then certainly it can't be an act that we are to do. Sleep with our daughter, or a wife sleep with her son, or a son sleep with a father, or a daughter sleep with a mother, or anything. We're not to do that. I imply that it means the mother shouldn't sleep with her son too, etc., etc., particularly since she could get pregnant, and that would just be horrible. So if Rama's not to do it, we're not to do it. So therefore, that's the incest chapter. The rest of that chapter is all about the projeting of progeny and creation of kids. And there's one interesting phrase. Rudra created a bunch of kids who were kind of angry. And Brahma didn't like that. Don't do that. So I think we could also learn from this, don't raise children that are strong and angry. That's not what the world needs. Strength is fine. It's not condemning strength. And it's really not even condemning anger. But it's condemning the destruction that comes out of that. So, additional thoughts, comments, all that good stuff, please down below. Excuse my cat. He just went cannonball across the room, jumped up on the shelf where he is now. So, I'm off to take a shower, cool down a little, Brett, and thank you for joining me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.